Someone give me a sound check in the chat. Please confirm that we have no audio issues. Woof! Woo-hoo-hoo! If somebody could just confirm in the chat that the audio is in fact working. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Steven.
How about those Devils? How about those Devils?
How about those Devils? Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And obviously, I have to know. I must ask.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? The New Jersey Devils, my friends, looking to follow up a beautiful third period, and which resulted in a win against the Blackhawks at the Rock on Saturday, head to St. Louis, taking on the Blues, looking to get some revenge for the shutout loss, I believe it was the night before Thanksgiving, at the hands of Jordan Binnington and those St. Louis Blues. And the boys get it done. The boys got it done, going to their home rink and beat the Blues by a score of 4-1. And before we get into the game, obviously, win or lose, I got to echo here. Win or lose, we booze. Tonight we're going with Dirty Devil Vodka. We're just going to go straight on ice because it's the holiday times and I'm feeling a little crazy like that. But what an absolute beautiful game for your New Jersey Devils. Some of you, or at least one person, had asked me in the chat prior to the game to make a prediction. Your boy predicted 3-1 Devils, ended up being 4-1, thanks to that Bradder empty net there at the end. But what a game. What a game and what a win. Cheers to all you guys. Cheers to New Jersey Devils, guys. This team is different. If you're not on board, I don't know what to tell you guys. This is a special group. And I have high hopes. Before the game, we find out Curtis Lazar is back in the lineup. Love to see it. With the cryptic nature of the New Jersey Devils injury reports, myself, along with many others, thought that Lazar was going to be out for a while. He ends up being out just shy of 2 months. He was injured in that October 27th game against the Anaheim Ducks, which that'll be another one I'll get to eventually in, leading up to the rematch with them in a couple of weeks. There must be blood in that game, and Curtis McDermott must be in the lineup for the New Year's Eve massacre, but that's a story for another day. But the story tonight is Lazar back in the lineup. Great to see it. Obviously, he gets the boys hyped up in the room and on the ice. He had some big plays tonight. One that sticks out was a nice little kind of grab and dump on the penalty kill. And Laser is back. Never anticipated that happening so soon. Like I said, it seemed like he was going to be gone for an extended period of time. And thankfully he's back, and hopefully we're getting that fourth line now much closer to what it should be than the AHL line that we saw for at least a few weeks. And now we have NHL guys back on the fourth line with, as of tonight, Tatar, Bastian, Lazar. I am a Curtis McDermott fan. The game did get very chippy tonight. I would have loved to see McDermott out there personally. But cheers to you guys. Maybe we'll see some Mac in a future game. But, these are a lot of liberties were taken tonight. And in my opinion, we didn't respond quite enough. Nason was all up in there in that last one late in the third period. But I would have liked to see a little more there, because it was several times. I want to see, gloves off and people getting cracked. Devils have now won 3 in a row, and they will be looking for that oh-so-elusive fourth consecutive victory Thursday night against Columbus. The boys have not won 4 games in a row since, wait for it, January of 2023. Nearly 2 full calendar years since the last time your New Jersey Devils won 4 consecutive games. And hopefully we get that mark on Thursday. Big win against Columbus. We'll give them 4 in a row. Would love to see it. We get to the game, and what a game it was. At 15-13 of the first period, Palat passes to Luke Hughes in the D zone and just starts skating up ice. Luke Hughes takes a few steps into the neutral zone and fires one into the corner. He gets a beautiful bounce off the end boards. It comes right out to Palat, and Palat wastes no time, winds up, and just rips a laser upstairs past Binnington. His 6th of the season from Luke Hughes and Pesce, giving him 3 goals in his last 4 games. And what a pass by Luke Hughes. I mean, this is definitely a set play that they practice. I believe they said as such after the period. But to get that bounce, it actually reminded me a lot of, for those of you that remember, I forget who the Canes players involved were. It may have been, I forget. And I think Svechnikov is the one that scored it. But in that game, we beat the Canes last month. I think it was, I forget what period it was. I forget the specifics. But a Canes player made a similar play that led to a Carolina goal. And it was like, oh my God, like what a great bounce. And that was very kind of reminiscent to me of that. We're on the right side of it. Luke banks it off the end boards. Palat picks it up and just total blaster right upstairs. Binnington had no chance. Gives the Devils the 1-0 lead. That is how the first period ended. And wow, we go to the second, looking to add to the lead. Devils on the power play. Jack throws the puck, just throws it on net. Seems like a little innocent. He just flips it towards net. And Stefan Nason, the junkyard dog, is in his office, in the crease, whacking away. Eventually banks it off Binnington and in. Nason's 14th of the season at 13:09 from Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes. Stefan Nason, guys, what can I say about him? He's the story of the season for your New Jersey Devils. One of Tom Fitzgerald's beautiful additions this past summer. And this guy is just having a career year. He tied his career high for goals, which he set last year with 14. He has 14 this season in the first 34 games. We're not even at the halfway point, and he's tied his career high in goals. Love Stefan Nason, a junkyard dog. Need guys like this on the roster to get it done, especially come playoff time. I cannot wait to see the playoff version of Stefan Nason because this guy is just an animal. Can't sing his praises enough. He's gone kind of quiet for a little bit, and here he is on the power play emerging. 14th of the season from Nico and Jack. Gives the Devils the 2-0 lead. That is how the period ended, and at that point, I was like, this is going to be a good night. This is going to be a beautiful night. I thought the Devils were fully in command of the game. I did not have any, I don't know what you want to call it, any nerves, really. I felt very confident after 40 minutes, and I was like, wow. They came out here and took care of business. We go to the third. Blues attempt to clear, and my man Brendan Dillon just knocks the puck down with his glove right in front of the blue line there, knocks it down, and he just fires a wrist shot on net through traffic, tons of guys in front, and just rips it on net, and it goes right into the back of the net. Didn't see that one happening. Anytime you see a guy like Brendan Dillon score, he was ecstatic. You could see the grin on his face on the bench. But Dillon's 2nd of the season at 338, giving the Devils the 3-0 lead. And the Blues had one response. Someone in the chat, I'm not going to name who. We'll let you slide this time. PSA, I'm going to go off on a side tangent before I get to the Blues goal. Side tangent. At any point during a hockey game, if a New Jersey Devils goaltender is pitching a shutout, this is rule number 1 of hockey, guys. You do not talk about the shutout. You don't say, I hope he gets a shutout, 5 minutes from a shutout. You mention absolutely nothing. You pretend it's not even a thing. Put it out of your mind. Hope for the best. Say some prayers, but you absolutely, under no circumstances, do you verbalize anything about the shutout? Do you text about the shutout? Do you put it on a chat, a message board, a forum? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You do not make any reference whatsoever to the shutout. And you know who you are out there. We're going to let you slide this one time. Never again does anyone mention the shutout. But the shutout was foiled at 10:28. Blues win a faceoff in their O-zone. They pass around a couple times, and then Cairo just fires one from a fairly sharp angle, but a shot that should never got through. It gets through Markstrom's 5-hole at 10:28, cutting the Devils' lead to 3-1. A bad goal, obviously. Many of us were talking about that in the chat. Unfortunately, it seems like Markstrom, it seems to be good for one of those a game. I wish it wasn't the case, or whatever it is. Markstrom will make those crazy acrobatic saves, and you're like, oh my God, wow, like he'll wow you, and then he'll let in the underwhelming one that you're like, how did that go in? And that was the case with Kairu's shot. I mean, listen, Kairu's a great player, but that goal should never went in, and we should have had the shutout. But thanks to somebody in this chat who wanted to jinx him, it cost them the shutout, but it is what it is. Cuts the lead to 3-1. The Blues tried to, credit to them, they tried to get a spark after the goal. They tried to muck it up and get into some skirmishes and kind of start some stuff in the physicality department. I did think the Devils' response was not enough, in my opinion. I always like to, when people start getting with the aggressive stuff, I like to not only match their level of intensity, I like to go above and beyond. And there was a couple of them where it was really just not much of, a real response. I want to see gloves off and bones broken. But Blues pull the goalie, pull Binnington, I think with it was a lot of time. I want to say like around 4 minutes left. And then eventually with the extra attacker on, Blues looking to work it down low. Jack Hughes, the new penalty killing magician, comes flying all the way in. He comes below the goal line to the end boards, digs the puck out, finds Bratt with a nice pass. And then Bratt just weaves through multiple Blues on the way to the empty net. He deposits it in the empty net. And
Jesper Bratt tit-a-tat, where my boy at?
Jesper Bratt tit-a-tat, where my boy at? Putting one into the empty net. Bratter's 14th of the season, assisted by Jack, giving the Devils a 4-1 lead. That is how the game would end. And your New Jersey Devils, my friends, are just, whew. This team is good, guys. This team is good. This team is exciting. Nights like tonight are great to see. And I'll be honest, at this point, it's kind of crazy because of how they've been playing. I'm not going to lie. I don't get quite as excited for the wins when I'm watching. I'm excited, but I'm almost to the point now, and this is how I felt during the Dynasty years. And again, I'm not going to say this is the Dynasty team. It's like I'm expecting a win. And so my emotions and reactions are kind of managed as such. I had a buddy, stupid analogy, but I had a buddy, we used to play one-on-one basketball. He's never beat me in his life. And I'm a very fierce competitor. I'm a very competitive dude. I like winning. I want to win everything I do. But after the first bunch of times he played and I knew he was never going to beat me, I wouldn't get as excited when I would beat him. I'd still be happy to beat him, but it was like a foregone conclusion. That's almost how I'm feeling with this Devils club right now, which is crazy considering how the season started. But it's crazy. During the games, I'm like, we're going to win this game, and there's no question about it. Maybe getting ahead of myself a little bit, but that is the feeling I'm getting with this club. They go out to St. Louis, take care of business, and get a big win. 6 games left on the calendar year. I did a kind of preview predictions video on the channel for the last 7 games to close out the calendar year of 2024. If you haven't seen that, check that out on the channel. That's there as well. My boy Jesper Bratt putting one on the empty net. I did kind of a little bit of a deep dive into some of the stats and analytics behind the greatness of Jesper Bratt. That's on the channel now as well. So check that out if you haven't seen that. It says, I think it's called like Jesper Bratt is elite, and here's the proof, or something of that. But that's worth checking out as well. Let's see what you guys are talking about. But what a night. What a night. So close to that shutout. Wolf Rockin', what's going on, man? How about those Devils? Heavier, edgier, more violent. I have to find that Vodka Ace great win, my friend Dylan. Love to see Dylan get on the scoreboard, obviously. What a warrior, throwback player. Love me some Brendan Dillon. Blues, John Woodson. Blues are bad. They struggle with offense like the fish sticks. Oh, here's John Woodson discrediting another Devils victory. Shocking. JPP, that power play goal and the camera pans to the crowd. The Devils fans celebrating had 22-23 all over it. Nice. Yeah, there was they showed some Devils fans on the TV there. Gem card collecting. Caps blew a 2-0 lead and lost in regulation to the Blackhawks, and Preds shut out Rags. Such a good night. Yeah, amazing night. It's a shame that the Canes won, but anytime anyone in division loses, especially the Rangers, obviously I'm very excited about that, as you all should be. Stick Fig, what's going on, man, bro? We just needed to mark you another shutout. It was so close. It was absolutely so close. And someone here cost us the shutout. Whoever that person was owes everybody and Jacob Markstrom an apology, but that was a weak goal. Absolutely weak goal by Markey. I mean, come on, man. Close that 5-hole up. He's got that thing looking like the Lincoln Tunnel sometimes. Close that up, and you were one stupid 5-hole goal away from a shutout. Alex Russo, what's up? Get those likes up. It's the Spirit Bomb. Yeah, hit the like, guys. Give me a thumbs up, please. What do I got to do out here? Oh boy. Wasted Youth Comics and Action Figures. SST, you are such a weirdo. Did you pay your mom rent this month for the basement? Oh, play nice, kids. Cisco Kid, complete game. Jacob did give a goal he should have had. Yeah, wild. It is crazy, astonishing. Some of the highlight reel saves we've seen him make this season, and then he just lets these crap ones in, but it happens. M. Payton, what's going on, Matt? Holy shit, Caps lost in regulation. Yeah, it's pretty wild. The last I looked at the scoreboard, they were leading in that game. I probably checked it at some point. I don't know, maybe in the second or third period of our game. And I wasn't really looking at the computer much. But, wow, they let the Hawks rally on them. Just goes to show you guys, there is no easy wins in this league. The Caps are the best team in the league, or one of them at least, and the Hawks are one of the worst teams in the league, and there you have it. Not only did they win, they came from behind to win. Any given night, any team in the NHL is capable of beating any other team, and there's another glaring example of it tonight. Win or lose, we booze. You already know what time it is, Zach. Cheers to you, sir. Troy Machine, can we get a moment of silence for the Rangers and the Sabres? Oh, boy. Speaking of the Sabres, wow. I have no beef with the Sabres. I have no ill will towards them. It's a shame the complete disaster that their season has become. And, former coach Lindy Ruff might be on the hot seat, or maybe they just leave him there for the rest of the season and they expected not to. I mean, I don't know. I don't see how you keep him on. Was that 11 in a row? Wild stuff. At some point he's going to have to lose his job, I think. Zach, let's go. Devils, Brandon, Natchez. Oh, yeah, that must have been about the play. Yeah, Natchez and Svechnikov. Yeah, that was a crazy play. That reminded me of it tonight. Walt, also I can't stand Binnington, so getting a win over him is oh so satisfying. Eric S. Plot cooking is great to see. I mean, yeah, finally Pally is starting to heat up, and credit to him. I know a lot of us have been down on him, obviously, with the contract he has, that is going to kind of make yourself an easy target almost. But, playing with two of the best guys in the league, you gotta do something. And he's starting to heat up. Playing with two of the best young players in the league in Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt, and it's about damn time. Brandon Thomas Plot has been great lately. Nice to see. Absolutely. And hopefully he continues just to contribute, here and there. And like I've said time and time again, playoffs is where it really matters. If he could have a big playoff, a lot of people will be like, you know what, the regular season, I forget who said it the other day. Someone said in one of the chats here that or maybe one of the comments, that the regular season is the preseason for the playoffs. And it's true, right? And so if Palat gets hot when it matters in the playoffs, a lot of people could look past that overpayment. Stick Figs, at Troy Machine, Lindy can have my condolences, but the blue skirts get nothing but mockery. Wow. And what's going to happen there? I saw a thing on Spit and Chicklets. I don't know if this is Biz just kind of talking shit and being funny, but Biz said that he heard that Sean Avery might be meeting with James Dolan. I'll tell you this. I hated Sean Avery as a player. As an online personality, I have to say, I love Sean Avery. His commentary on the first three Devils goals in the Devils-Rangers game, if you haven't seen that, that's on the YouTube, my channel as well. In the short section, I put those up because I figured a lot of people would miss it. Him doing commentary with like a metal pointer on his television is straight up just gold. Just completely ripping the Rangers. It was absolutely hilarious. And if somehow he gets a front office position, I think that would completely cement what a complete and utter circus the New York Rangers have become. Yeah, Natchez to Svechnikov. Okay. I couldn't remember exactly who it was. Crazy play. That Luke one reminded me of it. Just perfect placement. The pass comes right out. Jay Snow, Cotter had a wide open net but couldn't bury it. He's close. Yeah. Cotter started off super hot. He did. Has since come back to life, obviously. Or back down to earth, rather. But I expect once he gets something, I think it'll kind of open up for him. But like, Tom Fitzgerald said in the media, I guess it's a press conference. Yesterday, speaking with the media, he was talking about Cotter and that, if he's not going to be contributing, goals and points, that he always wants him to play his game and stick to his character, which is a heavier, edgier, more violent gentleman, and get in those battles, win those puck battles, smash guys. And Cotter always does that. Wait, I forgot to do the game stats. Let me reload because they changed. Devils 28 shots on goal, Blues with 20. Devils just destroying them in the faceoff circle. 61.5% to 38.5%. Devils finally scoring on the power play, going 1 for 3. I think they were scoreless in their last 13. Go 1 for 3 tonight. Glad to see the power play finally get back on the score sheet. Blues go 0 for 1 on the power play. Devils with 26 hits. Blues with 32 hits. Devils with 8 block shots, one of the lowest totals on the season, I believe. Blues with 12 block shots. Devils 12 giveaways. That's much more acceptable than the 20s we've been seeing on a lot of nights. Blues with 19 giveaways. Devils with 5 takeaways. Blues with 5 takeaways. And what a game. Your New Jersey Devils. John Woodson, someone has to play defense on Jack's line. Everyone wanted Palat gone. Yeah, we're impatient. Everyone did want Palat gone, but this past week or so, it's like, all right, chip in a little bit, do the little things. Everyone's sending me something about Capo Caco. I guess he had a sound bite because he was scratched. I don't know. Complete dysfunction going on across the river. What's going on, Pete? Siegs was a beast on D tonight. Yeah, Siegenthaler was all over the place. I think he may have had was it him that stretched out on the ice a couple times to break up a play? But yeah, Siegenthaler and my man Johnny Kovacevic have been dominant all season long. One of the best shutdown pairs in the league. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? I will say, your boy Ace has made a ton of correct predictions going back from the summer. I will say, I did not see Siegenthaler and Kovacevic doing this. I don't think anyone did. Wow. I mean, coming off the season Siegenthaler had last year, a lot of people wanted him out of here. And by all accounts, Johnny Kovacevic was going to be a 7th D-man. And here we are talking about how they're one of the best D pairs in the league. Statistically, not just like, we think. No, we don't. The stats support it. Stick figs, Nason and Siegs, who would have thought? Yeah, they were in that little skirmish there at the end. That was interesting to see. I wish Nason dropped the gloves and just broke someone's face, but I guess he did enough to prevent Siegenthaler from getting the brunt of, I think it was Shen. Complete junkyard dog, Chris. Nason is the junkyard dog. Alex, does Nason finish top 5 in goals for us this season? Let me take a look. Does he finish in top 5 in goals? Yeah, he definitely will. The only guys I'm going to say are definitely going to finish above him in goals are, the big 3. Jack, Nico, and Brat will definitely finish with more goals than Nason. And then I think the only other guy that will even have a chance to is Timo to round out the big 4. I mean, Mercer could get hot and pass him. I just don't think so. Yeah. No, Nason easily finishes in top 5 in goals for sure. Stickfig, speaking of junkyard dogs, Bratter for the empty net. Oh, yeah, Bratter for the empty net for sure.
Yes, but Brett, tit-a-tat, where my boy at?
Where my boy at? Bratter just using that explosive skating to just make people look stupid. And it's funny, I didn't realize in real time, I thought that the last blue he had to beat before he scored the goal, I thought that was a forward that got caught back. That was Cam Fowler. I was like, holy shit, he made Cam Fowler look like a statue. Just kind of froze him, went right around him, right to the empty net, and he was like, thanks for coming. Right around him, and wow. Wow, oh wow. The insane skill of Jesper Bratt. Now I have to address SST's comment that I'm going to pull up in a second. I just got to do some quick math over here. Is Cotter still on pace for a career year? And the answer is yes. Yes, he is. His career year was last year with 25 points. He has 12 points right now and only 33 games. So he is well on pace for a career year. Still on pace. Sorry to disappoint you, SST. John Woodson, Seeks has been great, but the dude could get beat up by a butterfly. That's my biggest knock on him personally, if I'm being honest, is that he has been great this year. Way better than last year. Huge improvement. Him and Kovacevic are shutting it down, but I would like to see him show a little bit more pushback. Like, I don't understand how people have played hockey for this long, and there's not like at least a base level of intensity and physicality. It honestly is mind-blowing. It really is. Jay Snow, about time we got one of those ridiculous point shot that goes in. Yeah, I guess you're referring to Dilly's. That was a nice shot by that was a real nice shot by Dilly. Didn't think it was going to go in. Just looked like a very routine kind of get it on net wrist shot, and it found the back of the net. Yeah. Defend yourself is right. Maybe he should take some jiu-jitsu or boxing classes in the off season, or maybe they could bring a guy in. I don't know. Brandon, at SST, to me, as long as Cotter makes us extremely hard to play against, I'm happy. Exactly. All that offensive explosion that we had from him earlier on in the season was a bonus. And while the top six was struggling, it was great to see guys like him contributing regularly. But the reality is, he was brought in here to be a heavier, edgier, more violent bottom six grinder. And if that's all he ends up being, then so be it. As long as the team is rolling the way they are now, I'm not counting on him for, monster production. Be a bottom six character guy. Make us hard to play against. Heavier, edgier, more violent. Win those puck battles. Go to corners. Smash on guys. And that's what he was supposed to do. Where did I go? Let me see. Let's see who led the team with hits tonight. The NHL site's wacky. For some reason, it's not loading properly for me. Let me see. That's weird. Let me try another browser. I hate the NHL site for the way this stats show. Like they got to figure something out. I've heard a lot of other people complain about this as well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's damn it. I can't see the hit stats. I can't see any stats. Their whole section of their website where that stuff is broke. All right, I'll check it again in a little bit. Maybe it'll come back to life. Smoking on that Rangers pack. Joe Mama Jinx is our real. Yeah, we had one of our very own, Jinx Markstrom, tonight. Don't even think about the shutout. No. Alex, 7-game win streak incoming. I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it. Ban all doomsdayers. SST, you are a doomsdayer. That would be banning you. Tim Firth, what's going on, man? Hey, Ace, the Devils are back in first in the Metropolitan Division after the Blackhawks beat the Caps. Unfortunately, I disagree. I don't believe in these standings the way they show them, and everyone, they're technically in first, but they've played 3 more games than the Caps, and we have 1 point more than them. So for me personally, I always sort by points percentage. And as of right this very moment, your New Jersey Devils, in my opinion, are still in second place, which is nice. They just passed the Hurricanes recently. Caps are now at a 7-10 points percentage. The Devils are at 662, and the Hurricanes are at 661, followed by the the Philadelphia Flyers are now in fourth by points percentage at 516. And this computer is so annoying. Let me make sure I read this right. Yeah, so Devils at 662, Hurricanes at 661, Flyers at 516, Penguins and Rangers both at 500. And the Rangers continually just drop down the rankings like a rock. Oh, God, it couldn't have happened to a nicer team. Just, they were over 700 at one point. It's crazy. What a fall from grace. Stick Figs, we need a blog spot. A blog post about hockey etiquette and manners from hat tricks to shutout jinxing. Maybe I will put this out. There's definitely some other ones too. But maybe I have to publish the ultimate handbook. Chris, you're guilty. Well, if you did, don't admit it because it wasn't in public, so no one knew. We'll let you slide. I think that emoji speaks volumes. Alex, Chicago came back and won. Yes, they did. Jay Snow, wait till the playoffs. Marky's going to give us a heart attack. I severely hope that we don't see the softies in the postseason. It really would be a shame to lose a playoff game or a series on a Jacob Markstrom softie. It really would. With that being said, though, like someone else pointed out in the chat earlier, if a Jacob Markstrom softie results in winning games the way we are tonight, then bring on all the softies you want to let up. Because for whatever reason, I believe Markstrom's like, is he 6-0-1 now in his last 7? And you better watch out, SST, because Markstrom's numbers just keep improving with every single game. And the nonsense argument that you had is just falling apart rather quickly. His goals against, let's see, and this is not going to be updated. But, yeah, he was 7th for goals against average at 2.35 heading into tonight's game. So, obviously, only allowing 1 goal. The goals against is going to go down. His save percentage was close to, let's see. His save percentage was 908. Oh, yeah, dude, you're done, dude. His goals against is probably going to be below 2.3 now. His save percentage is going to be 910 or higher. I mean, and he's tied for second in the league with 16 wins. I mean, SST, just let it go, baby. It's over. Your Jacob Markstrom hate is not welcome here, nor is it warranted, quite frankly. Ace is protecting his boy Markstrom from jinxes. I mean, it was a jinx, but Stanley 62495. This team's defensive play the last 5 or so games has been stellar. If they start firing on all cylinders their offense, that is going to be something very impressive win tonight. Completely agree. The defense has looked great for the past stretch of games. I think tonight St. Louis got, how many shots did I say? Do I still have this pulled up here? 20 shots. I think the first team in maybe 4 games to get 20 shots on the Devils. Defense is clamping down, limiting chances. And that's the first step. Get solid goaltending. Have a defense that plays responsibly. Have forwards that are taking care of the puck in both ends. And you will have good results. And this team has gotten pretty damn good results on the season. Markstrom needs to be better. Simple. I mean, dude, like I just said, he's doing pretty good, man. Everyone could be better. You could say, oh, I wish Bratt was better too. Bratt's phenomenal. Would you want him to be better? Sure. But Markstrom, by every measurable statistic, is doing pretty well. Tied for second in the league in wins. He is going to be top 6 or so in goals against average. And his save percentage is going to be at that 910 or above. I mean, what more do you want? John Woodson, Markstrom is 35, and at best, the 10th best goalie in the league. He's been enough. I mean, okay. 10th best goalie in the league, is that bad? It's the top third. SST, got to say, Markstrom can have those stinkers in the playoffs. I'll give you that. I couldn't agree more there. Gentlemen, Bratt knew he didn't have to shoot that right away because he knew he was going to dust that guy. Man, he made Cam Fowler look like a statue. I really thought in real time that it was a forward. I'm like, oh, that sucks as a forward to get caught with Bratt coming at you with speed with the empty net. Like, it's going to be hard to defend him one-on-one. And then when I saw the replay from the reverse angle, I'm like, holy shit, that was Cam Fowler. Crazy. Veteran defenseman just looking foolish out there against young Jesper Bratt coming through with speed. NJ Swan Fox, Markey played well, but it seems you can count on him to give up a softie each night. Yeah, I agree. As of late, it seems that way, but it's not going to be every game. There's tons of games where he did not. But Stick Figs, man, last year sucked, but if I knew it would wake Fitzy up and result in this beautiful team. It will bother me. It will always bother me that we kind of just threw the towel in on last year. And I do think Fitzy probably went to the owners and was like, listen, I could spend that Dougie Hamilton LTIR money and maybe trade for a goalie or whatever, trade for a goalie and trade and sign, make a trade for someone to bring on salary to spend that LTIR money and maybe make a push to get in the playoffs and probably get dusted in the first round, or we could just tank and get a higher pick and rebuild for next year and save the money. I think he basically gave them the options, and the owners were like, we'll take option B. We'll tank, we'll not spend the extra money, and we'll, regroup for next season. I do believe that's what happened. It is unfortunate, but, it is what it is. The moves that were made this offseason were phenomenal. Jason, we are absolutely awesome right now, especially with that win at St. Louis. Let's hope for 4 in a row when we go score big in Columbus, Ohio, especially Jack Hughes. Yeah, I hope to see it. The elusive 4 in a row that we haven't seen in nearly 2 calendar years, guys. 2 calendar years is absolute. I mean, God, I can't even, all of the things that have gone on in 2 calendar years, and that is the last time your New Jersey Devils were able to muster up 4 consecutive wins. That long ago, 2 years. It was like January. I think I don't have it in front of me. I think it was like January 14th or something. You're talking about a couple weeks shy of 2 full years, and it's pretty wild. It's wild that they haven't won 4 in a row, and hopefully they are all aware of this, and the new guys should be made aware of it. I don't even know. Who knows if even Keefe's aware of it. Someone has to make it be known and be like, listen, boys, we haven't won 4 in a row in 2 calendar years. This is now what, their second or third crack at it. Let me just double check. This might be their 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this will be their third crack at it. Yeah, they won 3 in a row. In early November, they beat the Oilers on the road in the last game of that Western Canada trip, then came home and beat Montreal, and then beat the Islanders on the island in OT. That was 3 in a row. The chance for 4 in a row was that painful 1-0 loss at home to Blackwood. So that he foiled our chance on home ice and shut us out. All right, that was our first chance on the season to get the 4-game win streak. Then November 21st, we beat the Canes 4-2. 2 days later, on the road, beat the Caps 3-2. Came home, beat the Preds 5-2. That was the amazing Nico Hischier Natty Hattie. And then back at home. Oh, my God. This is a trend, boys. This is a freaking trend. Yeah, so the Predators game was 3 in a row, and then back at home on the 27th, the night before Thanksgiving, with the chance to make it 4 in a row, and we got shut out by Binnington and the Blues 3-0. That was our second chance at 4 in a row. So now this is our third 3-game win streak of the season, and the third time they will have a crack at the elusive 4 games in a row, and hopefully it does not result in a loss. Shut out both times. Yeah, these got to be put up on the board in the locker room. Stick Figs, Devils win. Caps lose. Rangers shut out by Nashville. Such a good night. Definitely is. Some of these comments are hilarious. Chris, the broadcast didn't mention it, but the Blues pulled their goalie when they scored their goal with 9 minutes left. Are you sure? I don't know how that got missed. Amagi Legacy, did you see the guy behind the penalty box wearing a Brodeur St. Louis jersey? I missed him too. I mean, listen, I can't imagine how excited Blues fans probably were when they got Marty. I mean, listen, he wasn't there that long, and it was at the very, very end of his career, obviously. But I freaked out when the Devils got Jaromir Jagr. I mean, wow, I loved watching him as a kid on the Penguins. Always liked Jagr. And when the Devils got him, I freaked out. I imagine when you get the greatest goalie of all time as a Blues fan, regardless of, he was at the very end of the line there, still had to be very exciting. 4 Devil, no gimme wins, everyone, but beat the Jackets like they owe you money. Yeah, hopefully. Insane Pollock, I'm fine with one stinker from Markstrom as long as it doesn't cost us winning points. Absolutely. Garrett Ruckle, time to ride Mark. You don't care about the soft goal. It's about the wins. Play him until the back-to-back with the Canes. You guys already know how I feel about goaltending. I don't understand for the life of me how the math nerds have put these guys on such reduced playing time, but it is what it is. That's the league we live in now, and you're not going to see guys. You rarely see guys touch 60. It's a damn shame, and it is what it is. I would have loved to see Marty playing in the current era where they're like, you're just going to randomly rest for no reason tonight. Marty would have been like, you could go yourself. I'm getting in that net. Blackatron, we just keep getting better and better. We're approaching scary territory if they keep improving at this rate. No, I agree, man. The team identity now is more focused on defense, limiting opponents' chances, being harder to play against, playing physical, and it's all just coming together, guys. Like I said early on in the season and in the summer, it's going to take some time. Rome was not built in a day, and General Keefe has these boys playing spectacular right now. Spectacular hockey to the tune of 662 points percentage. Whew. What a turnaround for your New Jersey Devils. Jersey Roots, what's going on? Ayo, Paisan, and all the other Dirty Devil Barbarians. Victory. Victory! What a win in St. Louis. Walt, got to run and deal with some nonsense at work, but cheers to the win, and biggest cheers to the JYD. Oh, Junkyard Dog for his 14 cold night. Yeah, Stefan Nason. Stefan Nason. Gronk was one of the best guests on Chicklets. Woodson. We definitely look like an Eastern Conference final team. No one in the Metro scares me. Playoff Tampa or Florida, and then Dallas or Jets are a whole different ball game. Wow. As a reminder to some of you that may not have seen, or for those that have, my official prediction in I guess it was in the preseason, I said that my prediction was the Devils win 2 rounds and at least make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Actually, as the season goes on, it seems more and more like when you got guys like Woodson saying they're an Eastern Conference Finals team. I mean, shit. Woodson comes in here and tells us after every game why the Devils win was not impressive. But for him to say he looks like an Eastern Conference Final team, I mean, wow. They've convinced even the biggest negative Nancy's. Wolf Rockin', I think I jinxed Marky tonight, ace. From the end of the second and during the whole third, I kept telling my son, I really want Markstrom to get the shutout, and he deserves a shutout. Wolf Rockin', shame on you, my man. You've been a fan for a long time. You know better than this. Be better, do better. We don't talk about it. Don't mention it. Don't make any cutesy jokes. You just watch the game and wait for it to happen. Man, you guys there's a lot going on in this chat here. Ace, there's an article from Florida Reporter that Florida be willing to trade Bennett so they don't lose him for nothing. I would try to trade for him. He's the perfect playoff kind of guy. I love Bennett, but that's never going to happen. Let's just see. Yeah, his cap hit is 4.4. It'd be very tough to fit him. And honestly, how do they trade him before I hate when teams do that. If you're a Panthers fan, even if you're going to lose him for nothing, to me, he's more valuable to have for your last playoff run with him than to cash him in. I will say, if Zito does that in Florida, I would be very shocked. And if I was a Panthers fan, I would be irate Just like someone asked me recently, maybe it was the after the last game live, would I trade Kovacevic at the deadline? And I said, absolutely not. Even if I knew we were losing him, to me, he's worth having for the playoffs more so than whatever you're going to get from in a trade. I don't know how Florida would trade him in their right minds heading into the playoffs. They're obviously a playoff team and they want to try to win again. So cashing him in to me would be just a cheesy thing to do. Josh, Avery was on a YouTube channel called Action Park Media last year and was hilarious. I saw a bunch of the stuff they did. It was him and Kevin Conley, also known as E of Entourage fame. One of the greatest shows ever, by the way. If you haven't ever heard of it or watched it, the HBO show Entourage, which is crazy, it debuted like 20 years ago now. Wow, I was in college. Entourage on HBO was an excellent show. The type of show that can never get made nowadays in today's climate with all the politically correctness and the other nonsense that goes on. But Entourage, highly recommend you check it out. And he was the producer or owner of that Action Park Media. He did a hockey show with Avery. It was pretty interesting. I don't think they do it anymore, and I don't know, what the hell happened with it. But Jack, good out-of-town scores tonight. Love the grit and pushback. Yet another chance to have a win streak go beyond 3 games. And again, it's against a clearly inferior opponent in CBJ. Have to win. I agree. But not only did the Sharks and Blues ruin our last 2 attempts to win 4 in a row, they shut us out, and they were both on our home ice. Maybe it is better off we're on the road for the first time this season with a chance to win 4. First road game in position to get that 4 in a row. Alex Russo, Sam Bennett would be a monster in a Devils jersey. I totally agree, but just because of the cap space, he's like an ideal guy I would love to get. But I just don't see. I mean, I would be, like I said, I'd be shocked if Florida trades him. To me, that's a kind of weak thing to do. And if I was a Panthers fan, I'd be furious. But maybe they do it. I don't know. But he makes 4.4. I don't know how we fit him. I think a lot of you need to temper your expectations with the sort of deadline moves that Fitz will be able to make. I think, if anything, you're going to see a bottom 6 guy, if anything. I will say, our goaltending is set. Our defense is beyond set. We have so much depth on D. The only thing I think he feasibly could do is bring in a bottom 6 guy. And there's still a lot of hockey to be played. Come mid-February, we all might be like, we love this team as is. We don't want any improvements. I think the top 6 guy that a lot of you want to see is a pipe dream because of the cap restrictions. I don't think we're going to see it. I'm just sorry to say, I really don't think we will. But with that being said, if Palat continues to play anywhere near the way he is now, if he can continue to produce and that line continues to perform, maybe a lot of you will kind of say, I'm okay with this top 6. You always want your top 6 to be better than what it is, no matter what. You could always find a guy and be like, can we get someone better than him? But it's hard. And with where they're at with the salary cap now, I just can't see it happening. Gentlemen, at John Woodson, Bryce is awesome. What are you talking about? He's completely dialed into every game, and his insight is great. I guess, I just bit my tongue. Fuck. I guess someone was slandering Bryce. Woodson was. I like Bryce. I like Bryce and Dano. People hate on Dano. I love Dano. Devin G. Luke with an amazing save on the breakaway they had. I talking about the play that, I don't know if it was quite a breakaway, but they were going to get a good scoring chance, and Luke kind of flew at the guy and stripped him. I'm just used to the Maven. Sal just annoys me. The Maven. Most of these people in here don't even know. They don't even know who the Maven is, Woodson. Damn, Woodson. Every time I hate you, you throw something out there that I'm like, it's hard for me. Even SST, like you guys are so negative sometimes, and I do just hate listening to the nonsense. But I have to give respect to the old school fans that have been here for years. Obviously, Woodson is one of them as well, and the Maven is one of the greatest hockey personalities, in my opinion, of all time. Stan Fisher. This guy was a hockey encyclopedia. I believe he's covered hockey for like freaking 70 years. I think he's 90 years old now. I don't even know how involved he is nowadays, but I did see that he had on Twitter or X a post. He was calling Shesterkin Piggy Iggy for turning down the $88 million contract. He was calling him Piggy Iggy. Man, I laughed my ass off. That was so funny. Oh, man. Morgan Williams at Jay Snow. Panthers want a roster player going back. Unless we give them Mercer, I don't think there's any Bennett trade to be made. Yeah, agreed. If we were going to do something crazy like that, but that would be completely foolish for a Bennett rental to trade them Mercer under team control for 3 years, including this one. I wouldn't do it. It doesn't make any sense. And for that reason, that's why I think you're going to see a bottom 6 guy at best. John Maniac, yo, what up? Ace, love the videos. What do you think is going to happen with locking up Luke Hughes contract wise? What's going on, man? I think he's going to get $7 million, $7 to $8 million. I really think it. Tons of people, including the resident wild man SST, who I think his number on Luke, I want to say was 4. It's never happening. I just don't see how you could believe that Luke Hughes is going to sign for $4 million. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard. I have a screenshot of it, so I will certainly, bring it back out at some point when Luke is re-signed at a much higher number. Maybe the Devils could convince him for 6.5 somehow. I can't see it though. I think even 7 would be considered team friendly by most accounts. And I'm expecting $7 to $8 million for Luke Hughes. It's not going to be cheap. Oh, let me go back here. I'll be back to that. Alex, would you guys do Kovacevic plus for Sam Bennett? I would not. I would not, simply because defensemen like Kovacevic are not easily replaceable. And while we do have other defensemen in the system in the way of obviously Nemitz and Casey are the two that everyone's going to talk about first, but there's also guys like Musial, Villain, Hadika. We have a body to plug in, but nobody is replacing the way he plays and what he does. And so for me, especially going into the playoffs, I am emphasizing defense overall. And while I would love Sam Bennett on this Devils team, I really would. I think he'd be perfect. I can't give up a guy like Kovacevic for him. I just can't do it. Wolf Rockin', yeah, he made Fowler look like he had pigeon shit on his shoulders. Yeah, he got undressed, man. Bratter made him look silly. Select the boy, what's up, Devils folks and Ace? What's going on, man? Devils for life. Cotter kind of a junkyard dog as well. Don't score, but fast and finishes hits. No, Cotter's a junkyard dog as well. Cotter's definitely a junkyard dog as well, but Nason is just a little bit more of one because he's doing it in the crease and putting pucks in the back of the net. But away from the puck or along the walls, they're both nasty and finish guys regularly. John Woodson, never mess with defense. I keep Kova. Couldn't agree with you more there, Woodson. Kills me to say it. I'm not tinkering with the defense whatsoever. Dogzilla. Siegs is Swedish. Probably no rough stuff. And all the kids got participation medals and juniors over there. Yeah, but still. That's great. But at some point, you have to realize, like, these guys are trying to kill. And so normal human response would be kill or be killed. Like, do you want to be doing the killing, or do you want to get killed? And I feel like he definitely should have taken some self-defense classes after Rempe battered him last year when Rempe crushed Bastion, and then Siegenthaler came over and was like, hey, what are you doing? And then Rempe was like, boom, boom, and he was done. Like, you can't be that soft in the NHL. I don't know. It is really funny. You guys keep talking about Bennett a lot. It's never going to happen. I don't give any contender Kova. I don't give anyone Kovacevic. I want to see the Rangers do an Instagram rebuild. Brandon, Markstrom's last 7 games, he has a 1.29 goals against, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, Markstrom's been Marky's been on the money. Oh, SST, it's not Markstrom improving. The defense tightened up. Oh, boy, this guy's never going to give credit. You better, SST, you better hope he doesn't go on like a crazy hot streak, because realistically, he could be a hot streak or 2 away from a Vezina nomination. And if that happens, you better go into hiding, my man. Go into hiding. John Woodson, it's definitely the defense. We were giving up 10 to 15 less shots than last year, but no, it's Markstrom. I think it's a combination of both. Garrett, to be fair, Marty did let soft goals in too. Yeah, for sure. Waiting for Fitz to get Crosby at the deadline to center Hughes and Bratt in the playoffs. That obviously can't happen, but that would be a dream. It's never happening for many reasons, but that would be wild. Bose, I mean this with no disrespect. First time here, but you look like a mix of Milan Lucic and Sal from Impractical Jokers. Okay. I wish I had either one of their bank accounts, personally, but I guess welcome. I don't know how to take that, but welcome. With super chat, my man Aaron, what's going on? Ace, run a 3-game heater. Marky is ahead. Maniac in celebration. I need to hear some rock and roll part 2. You should be blasting it. Let's go Devils. Thanks a lot, Aaron. Really appreciate it. I really, really wish they would go back to that as the song. Obviously, it's not going to happen in this lifetime. I wish it would. But let me see. I lost my spot again. I lost my damn spot. Oh, this is so annoying. But thank you very much. I appreciate it, Aaron. Let's see. Yeah, some goal scorer Markstrom have been a little tough, but the dude makes the timely stop more often than not. That's the key, timely saves. Yeah, I agree, but there's people that decided they were going to hate on Markstrom early when we got him, and so they are going to defend that point forever, and that's fine. But at some point, the stats aren't going to lie. I mean, his numbers are going to be fairly solid. He's tied for second in the league with Ottinger, I believe, with 16 wins. His goals against is going to be around 2.3 or so, and a save percentage of 910. I mean, what more did you guys like? I understand some of the goals are bad, but if someone said at this juncture, Markstrom's stats will be this, and they showed it to you, you would be like, yeah, that's exactly why we got him. But now when it's happening, people are still complaining. I mean, this is, you're not going to get Marty with a 1.92 goals against and a 920 save percentage. It's not going to happen. Stick thinks some people never be satisfied until every goalie plays like Marty, D-Man plays like Stevens, and every forward plays like Elias. Yeah, it's never going to happen, guys. It's a bygone era. And it's an unfair measuring stick to try to hold somebody to. We had all-time greats. And listen, I would love to see it again, but it's just not going to happen. LJ, Markey with 4 games in a row. Will they play him 5 straight, or is that not a thing anymore in this era? We're going to find out. I'll tell you this. I do believe if was Jake Allen still not back yet, right? I wasn't even paying attention. He wasn't on the bench tonight, right? Let me see something. Oh, he was. So I wonder if Allen's ready for action. If Allen is truly ready to play, at some point you're going to see him thrown in there. I mean, listen, you guys already know. I am riding the hot hand. Unless it's back-to-backs, I am riding Markstrom. But I would not be shocked if we see Allen in that next one. I really wouldn't. Max, Nason came to us as a child, left us for Rod University, came back as a man, the man of our dreams for grit and garbage goals. It's absolutely true. We had him too early. He went down to Carolina. He went to that Rod Brendamore U, learned some damn things, and he came back, and he's a new man, and he is an absolute just new player and a breakout season for the junkyard dog, Stefan Nason. Hellebuck has played 25 of 32 games for the Jets. Yeah, he usually is among the league leaders at the end of the year, or at least the past few seasons in games played. He'll probably hit the 60, and maybe one or two other guys will, but by and large, they're trying to keep those guys in the low 50s. Trying to keep them in the low 50s. Devils for life. Got to say this team missed Lazar, not just on, but off the ice. You can tell he enjoys playing for us. Yeah, love Laser. Definitely one of the greatest personalities on the team, if not in the league. And that all matters. You know, throughout the broadcast tonight, they were talking about how the group genuinely gets along and it's not an act, and how they were in the locker room trying to talk to Brendan Dillon, and they were very close to him, and it was hard to hear because everyone was just, you know, making all kinds of noise around the locker room and just messing with each other and having a good time. So, Aaron with another one. Thank you, sir. First time the Devils gave up less than 20 shots on goal in 4 straight games since 1999. Well, the Blues got 20 tonight, so it ended the streak. Let me see if they changed it. Sometimes they do change the stats, because the last game, originally they said the Hawks had 3 shots on goal in the first period, and then it was eventually changed to 2. I'm just trying to see if there was an update. It's still showing for me on NHL as 20 shots of the Blues. I'd be curious if that got changed. But either way, point taken, the defense has definitely tightened up. It's like a switch went off. And you love to see it. I mean, the least shots we face, the better chance they have of winning. For sure. But thank you, Aaron. Appreciated. Alex, Ace, the face you make when you scan the comments, my boy locked in like someone took a shot at his goalie. No, I keep losing the spot, and the thing keeps moving. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. We've gotten to the point now, because of you crazy people, you crazy fans, that I appreciate each and every one of you. Cheers to all of you for coming out to the post-game. It's impossible to bring up every comment now. It's just impossible. So I try to do my best. And then when I start talking too much, I find that I'm talking about shit that you wrote like 30 minutes ago. So I'm trying to find the balance here. Very hard. Yeah, Alex, you made this comment 16 minutes ago. So it's just really hard to, figure out exactly the best way to go about it. Sorry, Ace, I didn't Wolf Rockin'. Sorry, Ace, I didn't realize how many people were in the chat. Please ignore my last post, buddy. Yes, I should have known better, sir. Been a fan since '89. I'm ashamed. Won't happen again. Yeah, guys, hockey etiquette. Don't talk about the man's shutout while it's in progress. Just let it happen. Richard Zimmer, you all Aces close to 5,000 viewers. I think you mean subscribers. Hit the like, share, tell a friend. Thank you, Ace. Thank you, sir. Hit the like for your boy. Sam Bennett would be deadly for the Devils. I agree. But because of cap reasons, like I said, I don't think it's going to happen. I just can't see it. Greg Orlando, Sal is the best who was a captain of the Devils. The Maven is a dumb drunk. Come on, man. Dude, the Maven was a legend. How are you going to talk ill on the legend? I love Sal too. But how are you going to talk bad about Stan Fischler, bro? Come on. Luke is getting 7.5. Lock it in. How much cap room do we have left if you gave your contract I mean, I think you could see this. They took away. Yeah, we have According to Puckpedia, it says we have 1.2 in current cap space and deadline cap space. That they'll have about 3.5 million of deadline cap space. I mean, yeah, not a whole lot. I mean, you could do something, but I don't know. Dire Wolf, Kobe's going to get the bag this offseason. I just doubt it's going to be from us. I don't know. If you didn't hear, yesterday in the media availability, general manager Tom Fitzgerald said that he was going to talk to his agent and see where they're at. Obviously, Fitzy knows that this guy has been a complete find and a complete fit for the Devils, and that it would be silly to not try to retain his services. I hope they don't penny pinch and try to, play hardball. I mean, I would hate to see him leave. I really would. He just is a perfect fit, and you're not replacing him easily. Yes, we have bodies to replace him on defense, but they're not bringing the elements that he brings. And that heavier, edgier, more violent is at a premium. Absolutely, I'm a premium. Alex Russo, I'm just thinking I don't think we have much room at all. Not a ton. Brandon Thomas, absolutely agree. We're definitely spending to the cap ceiling for sure. That Eastern Conference final prediction was like back in the summer. What's going on, Mary? Hey, Ace, great win tonight. This team is so fun to watch. Couldn't agree more, Mary. 4-1 win. Love to see it. And the boys are going for 4 in a row. Thursday night. Jay Snow, Devils going to have 3.5 at the deadline. Yeah, I just found that on that Puckpedia. Hear me out. McDavid for Mercer. We're not getting McDavid. Stick Figs. This is why I would need chat mods. All right, right. Stick Figs. If I ever do the mods thing, trust me, bro, you're first in line. If you want to be one of them, you're the first person I offer it to. I just have to look more into all this stuff. I'm an old man, guys. Bear with me. I'm trying to, I don't like, I am a little bit of a control freak to an extent, and I do like to kind of glance at the comments and pick what I'm going to pull up because, some other people might not value or whatever what I see. So it's a very delicate balance for me. And hard for me to kind of not be able to do that myself, I think. Now it is up here. So someone just made a reference. I'll pull that up in a minute. Cotter with 4. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I just lost it. Brandon, I don't think the Devils can afford a decent upgrade for top 6 until Pally contract ends. Agreed. And this is what I've been telling people. People are throwing out all these names, and it's like, who are you shipping out, and where is the money coming from to fit these guys? People don't understand that the cap is real. Greg Orlando, Ace, can we talk about Dylan with 7 hits? And now I tried to pull this up before NHL was on the fritz, but I will do just that, Greg. Leading the way for your New Jersey Devils in hits. Well, I'll just read everybody's. Stefan Nason, the Junkyard Dog, with 1 hit. The captain, Nico Hischier, with 2 hits. Nate Bastian with 3 hits. Pally with 2 hits. Curtis Lazar with a hit. Paulie Cotter with 4 hits. Halla and Bratter with 1 hit apiece. Dougie Hamilton, Kovacevic, 1 hit apiece. Siegenthaler with 2 hits. And Brendan Dillon. Dilly. 7 hits and a goal tonight. Brendan Dillon is heavier, edgier, more violent, a throwback player. Love me some Brendan Dillon. And another guy that fits the mold of the voice. The veteran, one of the veteran leaders of the group on and off the ice, and a guy you need, the type of guys you need to go deep in the playoffs. And it is crazy with how much not only physicality and heavier, edgier, more violent mentality was brought in this summer, but just leaders and guys who have been playing the game for so long to just immediately inject some maturity into the locker room. It's got to be one of the biggest changes, I would think, in my 30 years as a Devils fan, the biggest changes from one season to the next, not just numbers of players, but the way that these players came in and basically altered the DNA of the team as a whole. I can't recall any other, year-to-year changes that were so drastic in the makeup of the way it just shook up the whole team. Chico, I'm late, but what a game. Devils took care of business tonight. Clean win you want to see. Blues only look dangerous like twice all game. I think I give more credit than that, but yeah, it just seemed like another game that, after the Devils got their legs going, and after that first goal, it just seemed like they were going to control most of the game and it was their game to lose. But the Blues had their chances. Nothing crazy. Max, 137 in chat, 78 likes. Great job. Can do better, though. Hit the thumbs up. Thanks, Max. Someone's got to watch my back. Chico, Curtis Lazar, the dude never takes a shift off. He might not be the best player, but the effort is there every single second, and I believe that rubs off on everyone else. Yeah, absolutely. Hustle guys like Lazar, that types of stuff, along with physicality, but physicality, blocking shots, hustle, heart, those things are contagious. And when you see your teammate, laying out and eating pucks or finishing a guy in the corner or, turning on the jets and using that extra burst of energy to get to a loose puck, when you see that, you guys, it rubs off on guys and they're like, damn, I better get my game up. These guys are going all out. And you'd love to see it. This whole team is just going to continue to level up as the season goes on. Jeff, stingy on the likes, Max, just like we are with our hat for the hat tricks. Man, some of you guys kill me with the hat thing. I just don't. It's crazy. The hats. You got to throw the hat. How are you not going to throw your hat? Chico, Stan Fischler is very obviously a Rangers fan, but he gets it past me because he's a billion years old and his options were them and the Americans. No, I agree. And Stan the Maven was on with the Devils broadcast for my whole childhood on Sports Channel. There was a great look up. I'm gonna find one and drop it in the. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. I'm gonna drop a little educational video. For the newer fans that aren't aware of the era that is known as. Let me see if we can find it. Oh, this one's very time appropriate. But this one's, hold on, I want to find it. This was a newer era one. I didn't realize they did these. So there was a segment called Matt and the Maven. Okay. So this one is from the real era. So I'll just drop this random one. But this is Matty Laughlin of the radio. He used to be on TV. And Stan Fischler. They did a segment called Matt and the Maven. I just dropped it in the chat. That was from when they were actually on the broadcast together doing this. If you look up Matt and the Maven on YouTube, the Devils had done some newer ones that weren't part of like the television broadcast. But they did, I guess they just, did it in the studio as like a remake kind of thing and had them do videos. But the one I just dropped in the chat is like an authentic one from back in 2000 when they actively were doing the segment during the Devils games. Stickfigs, oh my God, guys, if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, you can be one of the 10 people that it takes to get this channel to 5,000 subscribers. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that would be nice, right? Blackatron Kovacevic will be locked in at 3.25 AAV. You heard it here first. I think he could get more than that on the open market, but I think that is a fair deal. I do think if I was Fitzy, I'd be ecstatic to give him that money. I don't know what his agent is thinking in terms of maybe his agent's thinking for even more than that. But we'll see. I think that's a fair deal for both. I have said in the past, assuming he continues to play anywhere near the level he has been this season, I do think that a team would offer him between 4 and 5 million times 4 or 5 years. But 3.25, listen, if they offer that to him soon with some sort of term, maybe he says, screw it, I don't want to go to free agency. I want to be here. He tells his agent, I don't care about the little extra money. Let's lock it up and keep me in New Jersey. I would love to see that. I think that'd be a good deal for both sides. And I think that is a bargain for him. SST, I think, predicted the most he would get paid by any team was 2.5, which I also thought was crazy. My man Alex, thank you, sir, for the super chat. Ace, even the Doomers got to appreciate the channel and you giving the Devils fans an outlet to celebrate in Doom. Thanks again, G. Thanks to you, Alex. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the kind words. We do have a lot of Doomers among us. And I just, try to do my best to navigate the waters. I'm trying to stay positive even after losses. It is difficult on some nights. Obviously, the Doomers haven't had quite or not as many opportunities to come out and doom on all of us because the Devils have just been winning so much lately. The month of December has been beautiful. And so they're probably, it's all bottled up inside. They're suppressing it all, waiting for the next loss to start talking about how bad Markstrom is and how bad this one is and how the bottom six can't score. But appreciate it, Alex. Really do. And when the team is winning, it keeps the Doomers a little more in check than normal. They're there waiting in the wings. But let's see. Greg, well said. This new group of D brought a new level of physical play, which sets the tone of the game. Yeah, it's beautiful to see. It's crazy, how, like I said, how much the DNA of the team has changed from one year to the next, and it's just what it's been missing. It's embracing that old school hockey. This is more of old school hockey, and while you do need the talent and the finesse and the high end skill to win, we've had plenty of that. It was those other pieces we didn't have. Now they're here, and now you're seeing the results. Brett Rossi, I miss Doc Emrick and Chico Eats. Sad Comcast dropped MSG Network. Yeah, first of all, Doc Emrick, aside from the insane product the Devils had on the ice with 3 first ballot Hall of Famers in Martin Brodeur, Scott Stevens, Scott Niedermayer, we had one of in my opinion, the greatest hockey broadcaster of all time in Doc Emrick, and definitely one of the greatest broadcasters in sports history. Doc Emrick we were just so spoiled. 3 Hall of Famers, plus all the amazing role players over the years, like the Danos and the Claude Lemieux and the McKays and the Holiques and the Maddens, or the Gomers, all these guys, Jamie Langenberger, over the years, all the guys and legends we had. But to have excellence in the broadcast booth as well with Doc Emrick, I mean, wow, it'll never be the same. There's nothing even remotely close to it. And it was just an era that if you didn't live through it, you could never fully appreciate it the same way. But Mike Doc Emrick, guys, wow, what an absolute legend of the sport. The Insane Pollock, make sure you get Chuck the Duck. Oh man, he would come down on the rope. He would come down from the ceiling on the rope. Chuck the Duck, dude, that's funny. Brandon, Paul Cotter leading with hits with 107, then Nason with 81, then Dylan with 80. No one else is even close on the team. Yep, 2 new guys. All 3 of the new guys. Yeah, the 3 new guys. Heavier, edgier, more violent. We had a vanilla group. Fitzy told you guys we were vanilla up front, and we needed to get heavier, edgier, more violent. And then the new 3 additions are leading the team in hits. Dire Wolf, Kobe's in his late 20s, is coming off of a $895K deal. This is one shot to bag chase. Absolutely. This is the biggest, his unrestricted free agent time. This is his time to get the proverbial bag and get as much money as he can. With that being said, if the Devils offer him something like whoever threw out that 3.25, if the Devils throw out that times 5 years, maybe he says, you know what? I don't need to test free agency. That's basically a $16 million contract, more money than I'd ever thought I'd see in this league. I love this team. I love the area, and let's get it done. His agent's going to be, trying hard as hell for him to wait till free agency, obviously, to get more money. But a lot of things can happen. What if he gets injured badly? If you have a chance to lock up the money, I think Fitz would be really wise. And I know Fitz doesn't like doing this, but to preemptively super early get the deal done, I think is the way to go with Kovacevic, in my opinion. Luke, let's get that next win and get a 5 to 7 game streak going here. Let's go Devils. I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it. Selected boy 3-2 Sharks. Goals by former Devils Zetterlund. Yeah, Zetterlund's going to be a good player. I wish he could have stayed, but again, you're not bringing in a guy like Timo Meier without trading something, and you got to give. You got to give to get. Zetterlund had to go. Jack, if you had to say right now, which pending UFAs come back? Lazar, Bastian, Tatar, Kovacevic, Allen. Okay, well, I'll start with guys that aren't coming back or shouldn't be coming back. Tatar, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Tatar. Thank you for the memories from 22-23. Goodbye. So Tatar should be gone. Allen, appreciate the service. You are also dismissed. Kovacevic should definitely be back. In terms of the Devils should want him back, whether they're able to figure it out or not is another story. But they should try to bring Kovacevic back, and then Bastian and Lazar. I think a lot depends on how the season and the playoffs shake out. Bastian and Lazar are my question marks. Lazar's come back from that injury. I would lean towards yes for Lazar, and for Bastian, I would lean towards no. But he has looked reinvigorated and really being nasty and kind of being that fourth liner you want since he's come back. But it's too early for me to say. But if you had asked me last week, I would have said definitely no on Bastian. Now I'm more 50-50 on him. And Lazar, I lean towards yes. But Tatar and Allen, for me, gots to go. Kovacevic, you bring him back if you can. And Lazar and Bastian are the question marks. Leaning towards yes to Lazar, leaning towards no to Bastian, but there's a lot of hockey to be played and the playoffs. And so I'm not going to make a judgment on those two just yet. But at the moment, leaning yes on Lazar, leaning no on Bastian. But again, Bastian has looked a lot better since he came back. I wouldn't rule it out. Brandon Thomas, Jack has 4 total hits. I hope he learns to start hitting. That ain't never happening. Brandon. Get it out of your mind. Jack, loves Zetterlund, young right-hand shot and plays with fire. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good player, man. He is a good player. What think about fourth line of Nate? What is Nate KM? Nate Curtis McDermott? Is that Nate and Curtis McDermott? I would like to see Tatar pulled back out, and let's see the fourth line with Lazar, Bastian, and McDermott. Bose. I bet most Doomers are between the ages of 16 and 25, the emotional ones. How old are you, Bose? I'm curious. What are your stats? You'd be surprised. A lot of the Doomers are actually older. Is that Bows? Bows or Bose? I guess it could be either. Like take a bow or put this bow on the present. Stan was a hockey reporter since Moses wore short pants. Selected boy, Doc Emmerich and Gary Thorne, Devils legends. Yeah, man, I'll never forget Thorne, obviously on all the ESPN games and the Stanley Cup Finals in 2000. Gary Thorne was fired up. Paul Zinski, what's going on? I agree, Ace. I'm 36, and growing up, we were totally spoiled. We truly got to see such a great era. Also, I love the Maven, even if he's a Rangers fan. Yeah, it couldn't have been that you're a few years younger than me, Paul. I'm 79, but you were definitely there, I guess, if you were assuming you were a fan when you were young. The on-ice team and the broadcasting and everything else were just A+. I mean, Marty Brodeur, Scott Stevens, Scott Niedermayer, all the legends we had throughout those years, and with Doc and Chico in the booth, my God, wild. Jay Snow, he's gonna get a nice deal. He's a right shot D-man too. Oh yeah, if he gets to July 1, man, teams are gonna be his agent's phone's gonna sound like it's gonna be like one of those donation hotlines, like bing bing when people are calling up during whatever to send the money in. It's gonna be wild. A young nasty right-handed D-man with crazy analytics. He's a math nerd's. He's the math team's dream. He's going to be on all the math team boards across the league. Like defense, right-handed shot. Here's your guy, Johnny Kovacevic. Go bring him home. And he's going to get crazy offers if he gets to July 1. Hopefully Fitzy locks him up before that, and it never happens. Allen wants to start. I'd say bye-bye Allen for sure. Oh yeah, we have so many young guys in the pipeline. It's time to start grooming somebody behind Markstrom. I'm not bringing Bastian back. I figured that would probably be a sentiment in here. Devils for life. I don't know if I talked about possibly a fourth line, but how about Bastian, Cotter, McDermott? I like Cotter on the third line or higher. And I think we got to just wait and see until the Cotter Nason Hall line gets clicking again. They did really well when they made their debut. They got broken apart, and now it's a little bit of a slow start once they're resurrected. Morgan Williams, Lazar, yes. Bastion, no. Jay Snow, Bastion got dummied last year and this year. You guys are brutal. Husky Unchained punching bag. Bastion needs to go. Jay Snow, Bastion's not a great fourth liner. He can't fight for shit. Can't play Big Mac every night. Problem is Tatar's not a fourth line guy. I agree there. And that's why you got to kind of see, if there is a better fourth line, if there's a fourth line option out there, that would be an upgrade over something we have. Unfortunately, I don't know that McDermott will see any playoff games, which again is really unfortunate. But yeah, I'm curious now. Yeah, my man Hallinan never got a shot from Utica. Kind of wild. I thought for sure he would have been one of the first call-ups, but tons of guys got looks before him. Bowers, Dowling, Foote. Gem card collecting. If you had to make a bet, what player do you think the Devils are most likely to get at the trade deadline? Oh, there's the. If I saw a list, if I was presented a list, I'd be able to pick who I think would be the most likely. But just to pick a guy out of thin air, you'd imagine it would be a depth player from a team that's not in playoff contention. I can't say who. Let me see. Nashville and let me see. Is there anyone? Let me see what Nashville's roster. Man, the Preds shut out the Rangers. I love it. Yeah, it's a tough one. I would say a bottom six guy from a team that's just completely out of it. Gem card, I have faith Yegorov and Salayev will play big roles in our future team. No need to bring in another goalie next year. Give Dawes a shot at backup. Yeah, or Poulter. Listen, make it a competition. But I imagine Dawes is probably the number one guy in the pecking order. I don't know why they brought Poulter up first this year. A few games ago when I almost heard they brought Poulter up. I could have sworn I saw Dawes at a practice maybe in the past couple days. I don't know. I might be confused in my old age. But I do think it would be a kind of battle in camp in the preseason to see who would be the backup for Markstrom next year. Dire Wolf, the Islanders sell and retain Brock Nelson as my ideal deadline pickup to play with Jack or center the third line and give us stupid depth. I just can't see Lou doing anything to help the Devils win a cup. And I've said before, I think he really enjoys the fact that the Devils have not won anything since he's departed the franchise. I do think that he, I think he enjoys that. And I think it would pain him to trade anybody to help us for the playoffs. Luke, before Lazar, Bastion, Tatar all got hurt in that order, the fourth line was starting to click. The Devils need another center or preferably two either way. Jay Snow, I want to see Hallinan too. We say everybody and their brother besides him. Yeah, I really thought he was going to be one of the first call-ups. I expected, he looked pretty good in the preseason. I thought all right, he was just probably on the bubble to make the big club out of training camp. And I was like, he'll probably be one of the first guys called up if there's an injury. And we've literally seen everybody there is. At this point, are they going to call Chase Stillman up before him? It is crazy. Give the kid a look. I don't know if there's something that, we don't know. It seems very odd to me with all the call-ups we saw so far on this season that Hallinan was never one of them, but I would like to see him get a look. Jeff says, no way Brock is available, let it alone retained on. Jack, if Kova is re-signed, Nemitz and or Casey don't have immediate pathway to the NHL with the right-handed depth filled. Could this be similar to the Askarov situation in Nashville, could one be dealt for a haul? I fully expect one of them to be traded. It's just clear that they're both not, even if Kovacevic moves on from the Devils, I don't see how they're both going to be in the lineup anytime soon. And so I do think one of them will get traded. With that being said, as a note on what you said here, Casey can play the left side. So Seamus Casey is that talented. He can play left or right. So that gives them some flexibility with pairings and things when you have a guy like that can play either side. But I do think, and especially if Kovacevic is kept, I mean, then the path for them both to be on the team anytime in the near future is seemingly non-existent, or at least until they move on from, at a minimum, one other defenseman, if not two. I mean, I could see a world. I never thought that Dougie Hamilton was going to play out his entire contract here. I love Dougie, and I do think he's way more important to the team than most people realize. And you saw last season when he went down how the team just struggled overall, and I do think there's something to be said for that. I know a lot of us get down on him for some of his lack of defensive efforts on some nights, but overall, I think even with that, he is a huge positive to the team in terms of generating offense, and he's seemingly on the ice for tons of goals that the Devils score. Because of the amount that he makes, I never thought he was going to play out his full contract here. He does make a ton of money. It seems like at some point he would be the most logical guy to try to move to free up a space for one of the kids and to free up all that money in one shot. But it's one of those things where, again, it's a great problem to have. We are just blessed with an insane cupboard on defense. And at this juncture, like I've said last year, we should firmly be in win now mode. This is a win now team. I hope everyone is on board now. I mean, with Markey, with the defense, I feel like a prophet. All the things I've been saying since the summer are coming true and have come true. This is a win now team. Why not us? They have as good of a chance to win a Stanley Cup this season as anyone else, period. Now, that's not to say I'm expecting them to win the Cup or that, they should win the Cup, whatever. They're a very good team. They're going to go to the playoffs, and there's no reason why they cannot win a Cup. That is all fact. And so with that, when you take all that into consideration, you have to have some sort of respect and, whatever you want to call it, for the future. You can't, I'm not saying to mortgage the future, but we have tons of defensemen. I mentioned a bunch of them before, Miss Yule, Tobias Villain, Hadaka, you got D. Simone, you got this guy, that guy, Casey and Nemitz obviously being at the top of the list, Salayev a couple years away. So there is a ton of guys at some point in terms of asset management and in the spirit of really trying to give the team the boost in win now mode. One of those guys has to get dealt. I think it would be Nemitz if I had to pick. But who knows? Someone might come with an absurd offer for Casey. I love Seamus Casey. I like Nemitz too, and I think Nemitz is going to be a great player. But for all these reasons, it just seems like both of them being on the Devils roster anytime in the near future is not really a realistic possibility. And so I'm cashing one of them in, preferably Nemitz. I would try to keep Casey because I do think he has that offensive skill that is not as easy to find elsewhere. And it is what it is. I mean, if someone comes along with a big offer, and I'm not just trading Nemitz for garbage. This is another thing I want to be clear about because we've talked about this in a few lives. I'm only including him in like somewhat of a blockbuster. Like, I'm not just going to do it for a mediocre player, but if the right deal comes along, I would definitely consider it. Rangers fans step away from the ledge. SJ, this team has drastically improved their back-checking coaching matters. Yeah, the general, man. General Keefe, he is demanding excellence. He's like, this is the system. These are your responsibilities. Do it or you're not going to play. And there's tons of guys dying to put on the Devils jersey and lace up for the Devils for a game. So, you got to follow through with the game plan and execute. And if not, you'll be out of the lineup. Poulter was on a 6-game win streak. Nice. Yeah, I saw him play for the Adirondack Thunder in 2 playoff games last year. And I thought he looked pretty damn good. And he's very young. He's only going to get better. I expect him and Dawes and maybe one or two other guys to be battling out in camp next year to see who's going to be the backup for Jacob Markstrom. Luke, Lou will never sell unless the Islanders completely collapse. Isles are only a few points out. They were last year too and got hot. Yeah, Lou's trying to win the cup every year, man. He doesn't care. He's like, nah, we're winning this year. Dougie can be traded in the offseason. I wouldn't be shocked with the cap going up and teams needing to hit the floor. I love Dougie, though, but I see the logic. Wolf, are you saying that for this offseason? Man, I would like to at least one more play. I would like this playoff year and at least one more with Dougie. I would understand why they did. If they do it, I would understand it, but it would hurt. I always thought, Dougie was going to be part of the core of guys to hopefully bring a cup back to New Jersey. Luke, Covey should be signed and shop Hamilton next year. Hughes and Casey run the power play. Love Hamilton, but he should be the odd man out, unfortunately. No, I mean, listen, it makes sense. But I just don't know that we could assume, Casey to fill that role and not skip a beat. I think that's asking a lot of a very young kid. Brandon, I was just sitting here staring at the Devil stats. Our fourth line is by far the line that gets scored on the most by a lot. Fourth line struggling for sure. Yeah, I mean, the top two lines are driving so much offensive pressure in our O zone that sometimes the best defense is a good offense. And when you could control the puck in your opponent's end, it's going to lead to less chances against. It's just the way the game is. And the Jack line seems to be pressuring almost every time they're out there. Gem card collecting, trade Nemitz or Casey. We still have Salayev. I like Kovechkin's play for us. Yeah, I agree there as well. I'm trying to keep Casey if I had to pick one of the two. But I just don't see how you wouldn't cash one of them in for a win now piece. Jay Snow, Allmark is playing ridiculous right now. Another shutout tonight. Damn it. I wanted the Sens to fall off a cliff. Damn it. Husky on Chain, love what Keefe is doing with his team. Really inspires confidence with his defensive mentality. It's great to see the players buying in. Let's go Devils. Yeah. The general, back check, sprint to pucks, be hard to play against, heavier, edgier, more violent, and you're slowly seeing it, guys. This team is much better than they were in the first month of the season. Alex Russo, oh man. Ace, situational question. Say injuries happen in a game and the Devils give you a call as an emergency backup goalie. Are you doing it despite getting lit up in the game? I'm doing it. Put me in, coach. Of course, man. That's everyone's dream. What are you talking about? It is crazy when you see the e-bugs get in. That would be amazing to get to play in an NHL game. Would be insane. Obviously, that would be. Who would say no to that? Wolf Rockin', I'm still not giving up on the dream of someday getting Brady A's. Hashtag bring Brady to NJ. I mean, he's related to Fitz. Maybe they talk over the holidays quietly. I think they need to fall apart though for him to want out. As long as there's a chance they're going to make the playoffs, I think he'll stick around. And it's unfortunate for him because, in terms of winning a cup, I just can't see it anytime soon. It's pretty wild. So I would love to see it, but it would take a lot of things for it to happen. And the first step or the first domino in the whole thing to even be remotely realistic is the Sens falling apart and Brady going to management and saying, get me the hell out of here. Luke, anyone that doesn't understand that their window started 2 years ago has no idea how the NHL cap works. Oh, I said 22, 23, that window was open, baby. Not that we're looking down the road and in 3 years, the window is going to be first cracked. And then in 5 years, it's going to be half open. No, that 22, 23 season, you set the franchise record in points. You go to the playoffs. That window is now fully open. You go out and you make it happen to win a cup as soon as possible. I couldn't agree more. Everyone here knows I'm a win now guy. And the future talk was BS. Select the boy, no more. The future is bright. We need to win and win now. Couldn't agree more. And I think the team is playing well enough that Fitz might make that big boy trade. Like I've said before, en route to many championships, a lot of GMs have to make that trade where they kind of push their chips into the middle and people are like, whoa, like if it doesn't shock or sting some people when it's announced, then it wasn't a ballsy trade. Every trade you make can't be ripping somebody off like we've gotten lucky in the past. A fourth rounder for Kovacevic, okay, or back in the day, Larson for Hall, the deal is 1-for-1. Like those are no-brainer trades. A lot of times the trades you make aren't going to be of that level where it's going to be like, oh shit, like, wow, we gave up this guy to get this, where it's kind of like you see people kind of take both sides of it. And a lot of times those are the best trades. You know, in the Lou Lamoriello days, he did tons of shocking trades. In 2002, or 2001 rather, traded Jason Arnott and Randy McKay away to bring in Joe Nieuwendyk and Jamie Langenbrunner. At the time, that was a bombshell of a trade. And the Devils won a cup in 03. You can't argue with the results. But at the time, a lot of people were shocked and like, holy shit. And a lot of times, those are the types of trades you need to make to win. Brandon, actually, my bad. Devils' third line gets scored on the most. Fourth line is close to even, but our plus-minus for our third line is pretty brutal. The 5-star Nemitz or Casey need to go. One or the other. This is the year. It's up to Fitz. Someone's got to get cashed in for win now pieces. Dire Wolf, super against trading Nemo. He's going to be elite. Wouldn't move him unless it's for a stud on a restricted free agent deal. Yeah, I wouldn't want to trade him for just, for the sake of trading him either. Like, people were talking about the Brady thing, and I was like, okay, as unlikely as it is, if somehow that ever came to, fruition and he was part of the deal, I do that without thinking. But I'm not doing it just for a mediocre player at all. A possibility we play Sens round one of the playoffs would be an easy series for us, in my opinion. Oh, man, that would be wild. Devil Sens. Brandon Thomas, Brad Jack, Jesper Brad are all plus 11, but blows my mind is Johnny Kovacevic's plus 14. That is insane. Is it insane? Is it that insane, Brandon? He is one half of one of the best shutdown pairs in the league. And whenever he's out there with the high flyers, he's just sitting back waiting for goals to happen. Let me get that plus minus up. I'm not surprised at all. Johnny Kovacevic, heavier, edgier, more violent, needs to be re-signed, and I hope Fitzy signs him sooner than later. Because if he gets to July 1, man, some of the money that's going to get thrown out there is going to be wild. The 5-star, our defense is just next level. All the guys bought in. Yeah, you love to see it. The General Keefe system is producing beautiful victories. Beautiful, beautiful victories. Select a boy, I wouldn't count them out because they could be the element of surprise. I'm not counting anyone out. I've told you guys all before, I'm not counting anyone out ever. We saw it again tonight. You see it throughout the league often, and because of the parity in the NHL, anybody's capable of beating anybody on any given night, and you saw it tonight. One of the best teams in the league, the Washington Capitals, were up 1-0 after 2 periods. The Hawks, one of the worst teams in the league, come back and get 3 goals in the third to win, including their first goal was a shorty. I didn't see that till right now. So, yeah, Caps are up 2-0 in the third period on a power play. They give up a shorty. It's then 2-1 Caps, and then the Hawks buckle down and get 2 in the final 6 minutes to win the game. One of the best teams choking to one of the worst. The NHL, this is why you play the games. Anyone's capable of winning on any given night. Husky Unchained, we can't trade Casey. Here's our new Rafalski. Yup, I said it. I hate when people throw out the comparisons to legends or quasi-legends. I would consider Rafalski a quasi-legend. And that's a big name to live up to, Husky. Brian Rafalski, a 2-time Stanley Cup champion with your New Jersey Devils in both 2000 and 2003. What beautiful teams. Oh, man. Brian Rafalski, loved him. Loved him on the blue line. He had a beautiful shot, great vision, just a tremendous defenseman. And if Casey could even be, 3/4 of the player Rafalski was, that signed me up because that'd be amazing. Ride and respect. Re-signing Covey is a pipe dream, but if he takes a pay cut to stay here, then we are truly a wagon to be reckoned with. Jersey's the spot again, baby. Well, he wouldn't take a pay cut, Ryan and respect, because he only makes like $895,000 now. So he'd be getting a massive pay increase, but it would be more than likely less than he would get somewhere else. So if that's what you mean by pay cut, less than he could get from another team, then you'd be correct. But technically he'd be getting a monster pay increase, even if the Devils signed him at something too super team friendly. Casey is literally our Rafalski clone. I'd trade Nemitz first. Yeah, this is the one where it's I think Nemitz is going to be very good as well. But for this Devils club specifically, I think I would favor keeping Casey just because offensive defensemen don't really grow on trees. at least to that level. And while we have Luke Hughes right now, as other people, are speculating that at some point we move on from Dougie because of the money he makes, I think the only guy, at least in my head right now, that we have in the system that could remotely do what Dougie does offensively speaking would be Casey. And so for that reason, I would prefer to keep him over Nemitz, but I do think Nemitz is going to be a great player. I think this is one of those 50-50 things. A lot of people would say they'd rather keep Nemitz. Me too, Dyer, Ari, Nemitz. I know I'm in the minority because of Casey's offense, but I'd trade Casey before giving up on Nemitz. Too smart of a player, and his D game will be better. And there you have it. It's a very split thing. It'll be interesting to see, if I just don't see how one of these guys is not traded. And it could come down to what teams are offering what for each guy. And in the off season leading up to the season, before we saw Casey make his NHL debut, I definitely thought he would obviously be the more likely to be traded because at that point he's a highly rated prospect and he hasn't played yet. But now that we saw what he could do and he looked like an absolute sniper with that first couple weeks he was with the big club, and then Nemitz getting demoted, who knows now? I just saw enough to really like Casey's game and what he brings, and that's why I personally prefer him, as many of you do. But a lot of people are going to say they'd rather Nemitz. Jack McCabe, this year we have 43 on his rookie deal, and 8 is making damn near league minimum. Don't have to go absolutely all in, but close. Jeff, Casey's stature is what it is, and it is a non-factor in defending and being hard to play against, in my opinion. Husky Unchained, Nemitz will be gone by the trade deadline. SJ, need depth scoring in playoffs. The top line ain't scoring every game. Third line needs to start scoring. Parity is real in the NHL. Absolutely. And that game tonight is no better. There's no better, portrayal of that than what you saw tonight. One of the best teams in the league beating one of the worst teams 2-0 into the third period, and then they lose the game. Any team can win on any given night, and I say that every game. And even when we're playing these bad teams on paper, you got to go out there and perform. There's no guaranteed wins. Dire Wolf, hopefully the season mirrors the glory days. Rags in the basement and disarray. Devils beating up the Sens and Leafs and dominating the East. Let's hope. I hope so. I absolutely hope so. I just find it so hard to believe the Rangers are this bad right now. I mean, wow. They've lost they win 3 games in the past 15 or 16, something like that. It's pretty wild. With Shesterkin, I'm kind of surprised that they've fallen like this. I think they make the playoffs, but I mean, what a story that would be. It's almost like the Rangers and Capitals switched places. The Capitals limped into the playoffs last year. I think they were statistically the worst team to ever make the playoffs, and they performed like it in the playoffs. The Rangers swept them after the Rangers won the President's Trophy, and now it's like the Capitals are in contention for the President's Trophy, and the Rangers are just looking to get in the playoffs. Oh my God, they're not even in. They're 3 points out of a wild card spot right now. Holy shit! Yeah, that is terrible. Oh my God! Wow. And yeah, what a big and the coaching change worked out for Boston as well. They were looking like trash, and now they're third in their division. They were super far out of it early on as well. And as of right now, when you pull it up by points, which I hate, but I'll do it for this exercise. You have the Leafs, Panthers, and Bruins in the Atlantic, Devils, Caps, and Canes in the Metro, and then you have the Lightning and Sens in the first 2 wild card spots, and the Penguins are right there. Penguins and Flyers right there, as are the Rangers and Islanders. Yeah, man, the loser point really keeps teams hanging around. I mean, you're talking about the Sens are in the second wild card spot with 34 points. The Pens have 33. The Flyers have 32. Rangers and Islanders both have 31. And that's what the league wants. They want it to come down to, they want to keep teams in the playoff hunt for as long as possible for ratings and obviously ticket sales and everything else. And so those wild card spots are probably going to come down to the last couple games of the season like we saw last year. Wild stuff. Jason, of course, in 1995, we came up with defensive hits and Brodeur building a great barrier. which led to the Devils' first ever Stanley Cup. Claude Lemieux provided a great scoring power. Claude Lemieux, the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. What an absolute beast. Claude Lemieux, Devils legend. And he belongs in the Ring of Honor, and hopefully he's one of the first players inducted when they look at it again. Obviously, Jacques Lemaire going in a few weeks. Can't wait for that. Ride and respect. Yeah, pay cut is in what his future salary could be. Haha, would love to keep Covey. I think Fitzy would love to keep him as well. Let's see if he could get it done. I think the time is not his friend in this scenario. In my opinion, you try to do it as soon as possible and get it over with. As time goes on, I think his price is just going to continue to go up. Paul Zinski, Rafalski's in the USA Hockey Hall of Fame. That's a big comparison. I agree. I hate when people throw out comparisons to not that I wouldn't say Rafalski's an all-time great, but he was a very, very good player. And for people to just casually throw out oh, this guy is the next this guy, or he's going to be as good as this. And I'm like, damn, some people have lofty expectations. That's even, for a guy like Rafalski to say Casey's going to be him, those are big shoes to fill. Wolf Rockin', I was screaming at the TV at the end of the game. I wanted to see someone's face get broken by Covey Cotter, big number 11, too much pushing and grabbing ace. Yeah, it was a grapple fest. After there were so many of them in the game, at that point, the game is in hand. The Devils clearly have the game won. And that's where I say, drop the gloves and beat the shit out of somebody. Who cares if we get an extra penalty? We're winning the game. Drop the mitts and leave your mark. Dire Wolf, Rags have quit on Drury. We need to bury them 2x when we play. Wonder if we could grab one of the Rangers fourth liners. They're not going to trade us anybody. Devils and Rangers trades, for the most part, don't really happen. Jack, a middle six forward would be great. Would push someone who is there now to be better, or maybe push them down the lineup or out altogether. That could be possible. Got to find somebody on a dumpster fire of a team. I think we're going to lose Johnny. He will make a ton. I'm happy for him. Well, maybe we could offer him enough during the season for him to say, I don't need to get to free agency. Obviously, his agent is going to be telling him craziness wait till free agency. They're going to line up for you. We're going to get so much more money. But maybe Fitz could offer him enough where he says, I don't need to test it. This is more money than I ever thought I'd make. I'm happy here, and sign on the line that is dotted. Wolf Rockin', every time I think of or watch games in the glory days, I want to cry. Miss those days so much, brother. Miss the old house in the parking lot. What memories, Ace? Let's go Devils. Yeah, I could talk about this for days. Everyone knows I'm an old school guy. The new arena, while it's nicer and whatever else, it'll never have the feel of Brendan Byrne Arena / Continental Airlines Arena. Nothing about it. The whole mystique of the Meadowlands and the Devils Cups and the Cup teams that played there, and the parking lot and the cattle run bridge and everything. Obviously, tailgating is a number one thing for me. I've talked about this forever. There's nothing like tailgating. And just a little taste of it back at MetLife last season for the Stadium Series was a little hit of nostalgia. And it was awesome. And it really felt good to be back there. It's unfortunate that, that it's just a footnote in history and now we play in Newark, but it is what it is. Hopefully the Prudential Center could be home of a Stanley Cup champion. I would love to see it. I feel like we've been there forever. It's crazy. We've been there for 17 years now. Was that right? It opened October 27th of 07. So yeah, I guess maybe it's 16 seasons. I'm too tired to do the math, but 17 calendar years. And really outside of the Henrik, it's over. Knocking the Rangers out. And Marty 552. I mean, that building has not seen anything to speak of really for the Devils. We are officially not doormats anymore. I completely agree. Jack, Metro is ass aside from the top three. Yeah, but I can't say the Metro is ass because when the top three are the top three of the Metro are the top three in the conference. So I would say that it's overall the bottom guys in the division do suck, but the reality is, even if you said all the other teams in the division are horrible, which in the end, Pittsburgh and the Flyers have really improved recently. They're right there. So when the top three teams in the entire conference are in the division, I'm going to say by default, that makes the division very good. If it is home to the three best teams in the entire conference, that says a lot. Yeah, and furthermore, not only the top three teams in the conference in the Devils, Caps, Canes, obviously, the Devils, Caps, and Canes are three of the top six teams in the league. So to me, that means the division is just stacked, even if the bottom teams suck. I'm still so sad we wasted Corey. Yeah, it is a shame. The Corey Schneider era, he gave us at least a couple seasons of stellar goaltending and was just playing behind some garbage teams. Some absolutely garbage teams. Brandon, I think Fitz is pretty good at convincing people to stay here and give good contracts. I think Covey is here to stay. I hope you're right. Completely hope you're right. Would hate to lose him. Jeff, the loser point is such trash. A 5-5-0 team is equal to a 1-1-8 team. Make it make sense. It doesn't, but it's all part of, money and marketing and the corporate machine. The loser point keeps teams relevant for longer. Without the loser point, a lot of teams, you could say that their season is over probably by Christmas time. Where you're talking about there's 3.5 months of season left. And if you think about for TV ratings, but more specifically, gate revenue in terms of tickets sold, if the team is out of the playoffs, especially with how expensive all sporting events are, but hockey as well, with how expensive these hockey games are, for certain teams, who is going to pay all this money in January to go see a team that has no chance of making the playoffs? You're not. And so as a business decision, that's what they do. They want the loser point so that teams stick around and you keep the hope alive and keep fans spending money. Riot and respect. All Devils fans wanted last season was above average goaltending. We are getting it. And yet I'm still seeing a lot of Markstrom discourse. I know he hasn't been perfect, but definitely a difference maker. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Riot and respect. People always want better. Last season, I said multiple times, if we could just get league average goaltending, we would be a much better team. And I would argue that Markstrom now is giving you better than league average goaltending. He's tied for second in the league in wins. His goals against average is going to be, when it updates, probably in the top 6 or so. And his save percentage will be a little better than middle of the pack with very respectable numbers all around. I would say this is above average goaltending, and yet people still complain. It is crazy. Like, we're not getting Marty again, guys. The Martin Brodeur has been retired. Ace, do you have genuine sympathy for Buffalo fans? I do. 10 straight losses, a talk with the owner, and the Habs beat you 6-1. Ouch. No, I do. I mean, it sucks to be a fan of a team that sucks. And as a hockey fan, my heart goes out to you. I'll tell you this. I was fortunate enough as, childhood to see the Devils dynasty years. And they won 3 Stanley Cups. They lost in the finals 2 other times, obviously in 2001 and 2012. But between all that, there were teams that were winning divisions and making playoff runs and very competitive. Buffalo, after losing in the 1999 Cup Finals with Dominik Hasek, when they lost to the Stars, there hasn't been much for them to celebrate. They have the longest stretch now, of not making the playoffs, maybe in pro sports, or at least in the NHL. And that's brutal, man. And that's kind of how the Devils were post-2012. They made the playoffs the 1 year Taylor Hall dragged them in 17-18. The Lightning beat us in 5. And then until 22-23, nothing else to speak of. So we went through a decade of horror, essentially. And that was after winning championships and making it to the finals in 2012. So I really do feel bad. And they do love their hockey up in Buffalo. It's unfortunate that their team has been such a disaster. And I do feel bad for them. That's a really rough go. Chris, what's going on? Chris, what's up, boys? Yeah, I've been to the Meadowlands. I still remember the goal horn. Game 1, Yager went after Gomer. Game 1, Yager went after Gomer and dislocated his shoulder. Very unlike him to go after a star player, and Hank had migraines. At this point, Rangers should take it on the chin and hope for draft lottery? Really? You really think they're going to just tank it already? They're not that far out of it. Brandon, a player like Johnny, I don't think fits. Let him go. Oh, you're crazy, Brandon. Brandon, what, dog? But he would be out of his mind. Oh. Okay, did you mean I don't think Fitz with the Z? Fitz is with the Z. Tom Fitzgerald. I read that wrong too. I read that wrong too, Ryan, in respect. So you think he meant a player like Johnny, I don't think Fitz as in Fitzgerald lets him go. I read it the same way you did the first time. It's like, I don't think a player like Johnny fits as in fits the team. lets him go. A rough go. Oh, man. Jason, remember Brian Giunta, number 14? Giunta provided a great scoring punch in the 2006 season. Langenbrunner and Gomez also provided scoring. That goal horn at the Meadowlands will always be awesome. Obviously, I remember Giunta. The Rochester Rocket still holds the New Jersey Devils single-season goals record with 48. Your New Jersey Devils still do not have a 50-goal scorer in our franchise history. It's crazy. At one point during the 22-23 season, it seemed as though Jack could threaten it. And then he cooled off a little bit and finished with, I guess, 43 or whatever he finished with. But Brian Giunta, legend, 2003 Stanley Cup champion. I love that 2003 team, obviously. You guys all know that. Brian was a part of that squad. Yeah, that 05-06 season, man, 48 goals. What a season for him. The egg line. The egg line, baby. Yeah, what did Jack finish with that year? Yeah, Jack finished with 43. Chris, okay, draft lottery is very pessimistic, but there are no answers because I don't even know the questions. Man, I have a bunch of Ranger fan buddies. They've been real quiet lately. Jason, no, Siegenthaler was embarrassing, just letting guys smash him in the face. Nason had to literally push two guys back. Dire Wolf, remember the year they won the division on the last game of the year against the Habs? Forget the year, but they'll never forget the game. That was 05-06. That won them the division. They won the division, yeah, on the last game of the year. Beautiful. And it was what a sequence. What a team. That was someone else was mentioning this recently. That is one of my favorite non-cup teams. And it's a shame. I had such high hopes for them. Yeah, the Devils were down 3-1 going into the third against the Canadiens, and they poured it on. Giunta had a goal on the power play, then Elias tied it up, and then with 2.5 minutes left, Jamie Langenbrunner, what a legend. Lags the legend, and late in the third period to give the Devils the go-ahead goal. Devils win the division, last game of the season. Wolf Rock and Mark, you'd be number one in the league if they haven't played Allen in so many games, in my opinion. We will never see another Marty, but isn't his son playing? Isn't he with the Devils somewhere, Ace? Yeah, he is. Right now, he's in the ECHL playing for the Adirondack Thunder. Jeremy Brodeur. We saw him get a preseason start against the New York Rangers. Had a great win, beating Jonathan Quick. Filling in for whoever you want to say he was filling in for, because the main Devils were already in Prague for the Global Series. And so Jeremy Brodeur got that start. Love to see it. Great game by him. Selected boy Jack Hughes was close to hitting 50 goals. He had 43. He was on. He at one point he was on pace to get 50, but you go a few games without scoring. When you're looking for that many goals, it could kind of throw you off, and he fizzled off a little bit. Brandon Thomas, I don't see a world Fitz lets Kova go. I think he's going to trade Casey Tatar for cap space and bring Kova back. There's a lot of other guys. Well, we have cap space to sign him, I think. There's, Jake Allen's coming off, depending on what you do with Bastion. There's a lot of one-year deals. I think Foote. There's a bunch of guys that the money will be there. It's really, in my opinion, more of is there a roster spot for some of the young defensemen if you bring them back? Elias is better than Giunta, but that season was incredible. Yeah, it was crazy. Great year at 05-06. I thought they had a chance to do it big, but wasn't in the cards. All right, throw out any last questions. I got to get out of here. I got stuff to do. It's late. We'll close it down. Any final thoughts, comments, questions? Thank you guys all for coming out. What a beautiful game for the Devils, man. Wow. What a night. Revenge on Binnington and the Blues. Love to see it. What a night. I'm jacked up. It's hard for me to go to bed after games like this. Buffalo seems cursed. Bills lost 3 straight Super Bowls. Ouchie, that's crazy. I'll never forget it. When I was in 5th grade, my 5th grade teacher was a huge Buffalo Bills fan, and we were little kids. So, we knew of the Bills losing the 3 in a row, and we'd always tease him. And he was into cards, too. So a lot of times we'd just, give him Buffalo Bills cards. Like, here, Malinak. The Bills suck. You guys are never going to win anything. And he'd cry about, we made it 3 times in a row and can never get over. Jason, my most ever favorite season will be 02-03. This is our Stanley Cup. I always love this beautiful goal at the Meadowlands and Elias Rupp, and especially Friesen. What a squad. My favorite Cup team, for sure. I went to every home playoff game except the very first one against Boston. And it was cheap back then, guys. I was a 17-year-old high school senior, just paying my own way. Jim Bean, Devils are MF Wagon. Let's go. Mary, thanks, Ace. Have a great night. Have a great night, Mary. Let's go, Devils. SJ, right 4 straight super ouch. 4 straight. Ride and respect. Proud to be a Devils fan. Cheers for doing these always. Cheers to you, sir. Brandon Thomas. Haven't been able to watch many games this year, but what does Siegs bring to the table versus Casey and Nemitz? Well, I mean, he's more seasoned. He's more seasoned, and the fact that him and Kovacevic are so dominant of a shutdown pair, I don't think you could just plug and play Casey or Nemitz in there with Kovacevic and get the same results. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. And I do think you're risking a lot to try to pull that off anytime soon. SST 0506 was the season when Elias returned after battling hepatitis A and Devils rallied to win a division. Yeah, it was such a weird thing. During the lockout, he was playing wherever he was playing, and he got like food poisoning or whatever. Luke, good stuff, Ace. Let's go, Devils. Wolf Rockin', we're both at 2003 Game 7, Ace. My favorite night of all time. They had to finally kick us out of the lot. I love Jeff Friesen, a total beast. Yeah, man. Do I have any of those pictures handy here? Let me see. I was looking through some old photos the other day. I don't think I do have them here. I'll show them at some point. Yeah, no, they're not here. I'll just show you this one. This is a random. That's a young Ace with. Can anyone identify this player? Who is this player? 5 points. Points for what? I don't know, but who can identify this young man? This is a young Ace and a young who? Somebody in the chat. Identify the player. Anyone? Does anyone know who that man is? Oh, Selected Boy. Wrong. Time's up. Surprised no one got that. It's not Gomez. It is not Gomer. Oh, my God. You guys these are terrible guesses. I thought someone would have got this. I will say he looks different, though. Peace out, guys. Let's go, Devils. SST giving a history lesson for the people not around in 0506. It's not Gomez. Wolf Rock and good night, Ace. I'll be in touch about the hat and the Dylan pick. Much appreciated. Another great show. See you Thursday night. Have a good night. Selected Boy Gomez knows. Rafalski. And the winner is Jeff. Ding, ding, ding. That is Mike Rupp. I will show it one more time. This is in 2003, I believe. That is your boy Ace. And that is a young Mike Rupp. Game 7 hero. Congratulations, Jeff. You're the trivia question winner. But good night, everyone. Gots to go. Your New Jersey Devils win by a score of 4-1. Looking to win 4 in a row on Thursday. Love to see it. Thank you all for joining. It's been great. And have a good night, everyone. Take care. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.